Yes everyone, today I have a brand new book recommendation video for you. This is going to be my Greek summer reads list. I have 6 books for you here that have all been written by a Greek or Cypriot author or are set in Greece or Cyprus. Some of them I've read, some of them I haven't, so for each book I will read out the blurb and then we can have a little chat about what I think of them. So without further ado, let's crack on with book number 1. So first up we have Split Ends and New Beginnings by my beautiful and hugely talented fellow Greek Olga Thompson. Growing up Greek in 1980s Britain, it would be true to say that chubby, mono-browed Olga didn't always fit in, except that is within the sanctuary of her vibrant family hair salon, El Greco of Hornsey. From hilarious anecdotes to both heartbreaking and heartwarming moments, you will find yourself on a journey full of nostalgia, humour and authenticity. Join popular comedian and writer Olga as she sweeps up the split ends of her life, reflecting on her childhood, navigating the ups and the downs of motherhood, and getting real about ageing, with every hairdressing pun intended along the way. I've been following Olga for some years now, and she's one of the kindest, most genuine people that I've ever had the privilege of connecting with. Her story of growing up Greek in the 80s in her family hair salon El Greco was hilarious, heartfelt, and at times very emotional, and I found it very relatable from my viewpoint. Olga has poured her heart and soul into this book, and it really shows. Definitely worth a read. Next up we have The Island of Missing Trees by Elif Shafak. In 1974, 2 teenagers from opposite sides of a divided Cyprus meet at a tavern in the city they both call home. The tavern is the only place that Kostas, who is Greek, and Daphne, who is Turkish, can meet in secret, hidden beneath the leaves of a fig tree growing through the root of the tavern. This tree will witness their hushed, happy meetings and will be there when their war breaks out and the teenagers vanish. Decades later, in North London, 16-year-old Ada has never visited the island where her parents were born. She seeks to untangle years of her family's silence, but the only connection she has to the island of her ancestors is a fig tree growing in the back garden of their home. This was a very complex and multi-layered story of love and loss during the Cyprus invasion of 1974 and the decades after, and it goes into quite a bit of detail about the political issues that were ongoing in Cyprus and in Greece in the decades after the invasion. There are different timelines. One timeline follows the forbidden love of Kostas and Daphne, and the other timeline is written from the viewpoint of a fig tree. The fig tree was transported from Cyprus to England, and she tells her own story of the atrocities that she has seen. It's a very clever, symbolic, lyrical story, a little bit depressing, but absolutely beautifully written. The third book I have for you is The Figurine by Victoria Hislop. Concealed beneath the dust sheets in the Athens apartment she has inherited from her grandparents, Helena MacLeod discovers a hidden hoard of rare antiquities amassed during a dark period in Greek history when the city and its people were gripped by a brutal military dictatorship. Helena's fascination for archaeology, ignited by a summer spent on a dig on an Aegean island, tells her that she must return these precious artefacts to their rightful place. I have read all of Victoria Hislop's books, and by far my favourite is still The Island. All of her books are very, very well researched. If you are looking for books that mix beautiful stories with true history of Greece and whatever country she's writing her books about, then you will find that in her stories. This book was split into different parts. I found the first part really, really captivating, and I was really into the book. But for me, the momentum kind of died a little bit as the book went on, purely because I just didn't feel particularly connected to the main character. You might feel differently. It was a beautifully written book, as always. Victoria Hislop never fails to disappoint, but my favourite is still going to be The Island. If you're looking for some new Greek mythological books to add to your summer reads list, then the next 2 I have for you should be right up your street. The first one is Pandora's Jar, Women in the Greek Myths by Natalie Haynes. The Greek myths are among the world's most important cultural building blocks, and they've been retold many times, but rarely do they focus on the remarkable women at the heart of these ancient stories. Now, in Pandora's Jar, Natalie Haynes redresses this imbalance. This book is slightly different to her other work in that it's a collection of short stories. They're not even really stories. This is more of like an academic book, and in each section she explores the full story of each character of the Greek myths that she's dealing with. So for example, we have the tale of Pandora, and Natalie Haynes mentions the very beginnings of Pandora's tale, the artwork that you see of Pandora, how she's reflected in modern life. I've only read a couple of these stories. They're very, very interesting, but it's not like a retelling of the Greek myths or anything like that. It's more an academic, explicit sort of untangling of the whole beginning of the myth and the reflections of it in modern times. This one's really nice if you're into Greek mythology but you want a little bit more background information to all of the myths, and it's quite a nice and short read as well. Book number 5 is Hera by Jennifer Saint. When Hera, immortal goddess and daughter of the ancient Titan Cronus, helps her brother Zeus to overthrow their tyrannical father, she dreams of ruling at his side. As they establish their reign on Mount Olympus, Hera suspects that Zeus might be just as ruthless and cruel as the father they betrayed. She was always born to rule, but must she lose herself in perpetuating this cycle of violence and cruelty, or can she find a way to forge a better world? I've read her book Ariadne, which was very interesting and quite depressing, and I'm very much looking forward to reading this one. She seems to always be viewed in a very negative light, so I'm hoping that this book is going to tell her tale from a slightly different perspective and show her as the truly powerful character that she is. And the last one I have for you is Stealing Dad by Sofka Zinoviev. What do you do when you're not allowed to attend your father's funeral? This is the question facing Aleko's far-flung children from many marriages when the successful, if controversial, Greek sculptor dies in London. His last wife, and now widow, is determined that they stay away, but for the first time, all the sisters and brothers meet up and plan to take matters into their own hands. This is Sofka's latest book. It came out very recently. She is an extremely intelligent, very, very interesting woman. I read her book, The House on Paradise Street, which I really, really loved, and that featured in one of my other Greek book recommendation YouTube videos quite some time ago, so I am so looking forward to reading this one. Sofka very much uses her own life experiences in her books, and I think that just adds to the overall impact that her stories give. So there you go, guys. Those were my 6 Greek book recommendations for your summer reads. I really hope that some of them catch your eye. Please do let me know in the comments below if you've read any of them or if you're planning to read them. Also, you can follow my book club highlight reel on my Instagram, where each month I read a new book and leave a review. And if you like, you might want to subscribe to my monthly newsletter, where I will let you know which book I'm reading every month, along with lots of other links of my current writing and so on. I'll also leave a link to my Goodreads account, and of course all of these books will be linked down below. Really hope you enjoyed the video, and happy reading!